Hello friends and welcome to another colour along. Today we are colouring from Serendipity and we are colouring this fun illustration called Just in Time for Tea, which I guess is an Alice in Wonderland themed scene. We have the rabbit going through the door, worried about the time. We've got the Mad Hatter, we've got a little cat, which could be Ginger. And here we have our little girl. There's a caterpillar on a toadstool. There's teapots, there's potions that say drink me, there's a crown, there are some playing card emblems, everything you need really to carry it across. Now we have coloured in from this book before, we coloured in Wild is the Music, which is a gateway to a unicorn in this page, but in the other one there's a different gate with the little foxes, but today we are colouring in this one. And just before I get started, I've got a sheet of blank paper and a sheet of acetate to protect the page behind it. I was considering using Ohuhu markers for this one. Now I'm going to start with some pinks. So let's grab out our pinks. I've got these roses. I think they should be pink rather than red. Go with like a light hot pink and an apricot pink. Calamus colour. I'm going to grab those three. I always like having three and then playing with them live. So I've got my three. Now let's kick off with some of these roses. So the light hot pink, I was imagining, would sort of sit out on the outside of and become the highlights of our roses. And then our apricot pink would sort of give us a bit of shadow. And our calamus colour let's go ahead with that then. Our apricot. And our calamus colour. I'm just going to do a little bit of blending with that light hot pink. Let's take on our second rose. I've gone with the wrong colour. We want our light hot pink. Not our apricot pink. Which is what can happen when you colour with a handful of markers. Sometimes things get out of control. I'm just bringing our light hot pink back in, just to throw a bit of blend into that. I think what I'm going to do now is just try and pick out everything that I think should be pink while I've got my three pinks out. So here are some more roses down here. I think they should be pink. And I'm imagining this crown, instead of being red, should be pink. As should this little gem that sits in the middle here. And of course, this drink me potion. Now, I'm not going to give you any medical advice, obviously, but if you see a bottle lying around that says drink me, I would suggest that you don't. I'm even going to make these toadstools pink instead of red. And let's do parts of this teapot pink. This is our darker colour, calamus colour. All right, I'm putting aside my pinks for now. All right, I'm going to start with my horizon blue. And that's galaxy blue. I'm just going to use that galaxy blue to bring in some dimensionality and some shadows. Whoa. Try and colour within the lines. I have some rainflower purple here. Just thinking of seeing if we can do the bottom of this dress a different colour. I think some galaxy blue for socks. And some hydron blue. Just to add a little bit of shadow here. Just going to bring some rainflower purple into here, just for fun. And I think the vest of our rabbit needs to be a similar colour, so I'm going with my horizon blue. And then let's just do a galaxy blue for some shadows. And some hydron blue. And I think maybe this teapot has got some horizon blue in it. Well, it's not a pot, is it? It's a cup, teacup. Maybe we do some on the base as well. And then bring our galaxy blue in. And a bit of hydron blue. All right, let's do that same color combination around this ruby. All right, let's play with this teapot color. I've got a red grey O2O. I just want to see what that's going to do. And I'm mixing it with a yellow grey O2O. Maybe a lighter yellow grey O10. And this is the red grey O2O. Just playing around with all my light greys. Try and bring this into something that looks a little bit like some china. I'm going warm grey 140. I'm going to bring back that rainflower purple. Just bring that into that bottle for fun. Warm grey 140. Actually going to bring some of that into these teapots. Just a bit warmer than the greys I used. I think this clock face could be that as well. And that clock face. All right, I've got that warm grey 140. I think it could work as a skin tone for our Alice character. I think a little bit of skin white wouldn't go astray on the nose of our bunny. Maybe on our bunny's fingers and toes. And definitely in his ears. I'm even thinking some of our yellow greys should come back. 010. And 020. Let's keep going. 030. And I think a rainflower purple is going to be the sort of shirt you would wear. And I'm pretty sure he's going with the vibrant pink tie. All right, I'm looking for some gold colours, but I don't want to go too into there. I want to stay in this sort of pinky bluey range. So I'm thinking a chocolate pink as my base colour, and then a reddish yellow. Chocolate pink, reddish yellow. See how we go with that. All right, I'm going to test out a little bit down here. maybe a little bit of Canaria. This is our chocolate pink. Our reddish yellow. And then we'll play with our Canaria yellow. This is our chocolate pink. A little bit of reddish yellow. And some Canaria. So I'm aiming for a little bit more of a rose gold. Now I'm going to bring it back in a bit. I'm going to base this with a Canaria. And then bring in our chocolate pink. And our reddish yellow. chocolate pink. And a reddish yellow, reddish yellow. And I'll now do the same thing up this side. Chocolate pink. It's a great name, isn't it? Chocolate pink. Yeah, reddish yellow. I'm going to bring in a lemon chiffon, and I'm going to make this watch just a little bit golder than the rest of our stuff, the rest of our border. And then bring in our Canaria. Yeah, I think some of that reddish yellow. All right, let's continue that with our lemon chiffon. Let's do this here. Our Canaria yellow and our reddish yellow. What about if we do our crown that same color combination? Lemon chiffon. Canaria. And that reddish yellow. I'm going to do this leaf the same. And chiffon and Canaria. And then the reddish yellow. And I think let's go chocolate pink in here. Some of that lemon chiffon for the leaves. Some Canaria. Some of that reddish yellow. And some Canaria. Just to bring that all in. All right, I have some argyle purple here. I just want to bring and leaving a little bit of white around the edges. And bring my chocolate pink for highlights on that. And I think in this wrought iron needs to be in a similar vein. So that was our argyle purple, and this is our chocolate pink. Argyle purple and chocolate pink. That makes a lovely looking hot chocolate, doesn't it? Let's talk about the hands on this clock. I'm thinking in lavender sky. So this is a colour called Royal Light, which is sort of a light lavendery colour. I'm just going to mix that with lavender. This is our royal light again. I'll bring some of that lavender back. I'm just going to blend that in. A little bit more lavender. Maybe a touch of lavender over here. And I think our Mad Hatter, he needs to have a similarly coloured jacket. Deep purple velour. Or is that velvet? It's hard to tell, isn't it, from a distance? Let's bring some chocolate pink in. I just want to put a bit of that chocolate pink into his sleeves, the cuffs. And let's do some of that reddish yellow. And I'm going to bring back my Canaria. And give him some gold highlights. And I think some lavender. Nice and dark on the inside of his coat. Oh, that was Argyle purple. Wow. Anyway, we're not going to complain, are we? Give him some Argyle purple shoes as well. Maybe some of that chocolate pink as a highlight. I think we need a warm grey. Let's go with a warm grey 140. Give him an off-white coloured shirt. Spats. And I'm going to leave her boots nice and crisp white, but this warm grey will give us the ability to put some shadows in. I think I'm going to go that argyle purple for his hat. For some highlights. Now let's go some yellow grey for his pants here. This is yellow grey 030. Bring a yellow grey 040 in. We'll go yellow grey 150. Just give us some shadows. About 150. See where that takes us. Light hot pink. Apricot pink. And just a touch of calamus colour. And I'm going to put some Canaria yellow there, followed by some chocolate pink. And I think we should give him this hanky, should be the same maybe as that. So this is our light hot pink. Calamus colour. All right, let's get the rest of this tree done. We're starting out with a chocolate pink. I'm going to bring in some reddish yellow. I like that yellow ochre. Let's put it somewhere else. I know this colour called Antique Fuchsia. I'm just wondering about making that the grass colour. And I'm just going to tweak a little bit of that royal light which we used in the sky up here for some shadows maybe. Tie that ground in with the sky. It's sort of like a twilight vibe, so you wouldn't be seeing green in the twilight, you'd be seeing all these sort of twilighty fuchsia colours, I guess. Let's even play with it behind this door. So that's the antique fuchsia, and this is our royal light. Maybe even a little bit of lavender shining through there. I'm just going to blend it in a bit with that antique fuchsia. Let's play with some chocolate purple at the top of our wall. Chocolate pink, not chocolate purple. Let me just pick out some of these bricks, or all of them. What do you think? Reddish yellow for some of that, the rest of that wall. And where's my yellow ochre? There's a yellow-grey 040. I'm going to stick with that reddish-yellow, yellow ochre mix. Just trying to add in a bit of texture by sort of dabbing this in. Yellow ochre. Yellow ochre. Let's get our antique fuchsia. Just add a little bit of colour to these bricks around the edge. It's being reflected from the sky. All right, let's look at some hair. We've got here some lemon chiffon. Do a little bit of Canaria in there. Why not? Let's throw some of that in there as well. All right, let's get this cat. Started out with chocolate pink. And then some of that reddish yellow. This is a colour called Peach Pie. Just trying to bring a convincing ginger vibe to this cat. And this is our warm grey 140. No, I'm just going to play a little bit with my yellow ochre. Pink. Light hot pink, really. Here, shadow pink and greyish cherry. Maybe for this road. Shadow pink and greyish cherry. This is the shadow pink. This is shadow pink. Thinking of coral for this door. And this is our calamus colour, which we used in these roses. I'm just going to bring some texture to this wood grain. Oh, where's that coral? Add some of that coral to these mushrooms. Maybe to the tips of things here. All right, let's make a greyish blue caterpillar. This little fat chubber sitting here. Greyish blue, maybe something a bit darker. What do we have? Hydron blue. Some of that shadow pink on the stems of the mushrooms. I just want a touch of yellow ochre on the cork here. Maybe even on the string. I've got my jelly roll. I just want to clean up where I've got some bleed on my white stripes on the dress here. And I think I'm going to add some flowers patterns to this dress. You could make up any pattern you wanted for all of you fashionistas amongst us. I think whatever you do, as long as it's sort of repeating so that it forms a pattern, to some degree, I think you'll be winning. All right, I'm just going to play with some Polychromos. Now you could pretty much finish it here if you wanted to, or you could keep pushing, which is what I'm hoping to do. I'm just going to bring in some different colours. I want to play with my red violet. And I'm just thinking it would make some really nice shadows. Now I'm going to play with some crimson. And the red violet. Bit of crimson. Now this is our light magenta. Just adding some texture into these areas. Light chrome yellow. Let's play with that a bit. Bit of gold reflecting off isn't going to hurt, is it? Maybe a little bit of a glow in this sky wouldn't hurt us. All right, I've got some Arrtx acrylic markers here. This is J13. I just want to add in a little bit of metallic to my china, just for fun. A little bit of a stripe there, I think, a bit of a metallic top. All right, I've got jelly roll. 10. Let's put some highlights into this. Well, there you have it, just in time for tea. I'm going to call that one finished. Hope you enjoyed colouring with the Ohuhus and the Polychromos. And a little bit of metallic and a little bit of jelly roll at the end. I'm very happy with how that's turned out. Once again, we've coloured from Serendipity. And if you don't have Serendipity, that's all right, because you can grab this in the June Colour Club pack from rjhampson.com, which is what contains all of the illustrations I'll be colouring in June. I appreciate so much you guys watching all the way to the end, and I hope you enjoyed the colour selection, and I hope you enjoyed colouring along with this colour on. Make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment below. I'm going to no doubt see you in another video, but for now I'm going to say goodbye. See you later, guys.